One game, one whistle, one decision that the entire footballing world is still trying to explain. Argentina versus Egypt was supposed to be a formality, a tune-up, a gentle jog through the group stage for the reigning world champions. Instead, it became something else entirely. A referee moment so bizarre, so inexplicable, so completely outside the pattern of anything we have seen at a World Cup in years, that even the commentators went silent trying to make sense of it. This is not a story about a bad call. Bad calls happen every weekend. This is something else. This is the kind of moment that ends careers, launches investigations, and forces governing bodies into panic mode by Monday morning. And if you think this was just another VAR mistake in another crowded tournament, you have no idea what was already unfolding around Lionel Messi long before that whistle ever blew. Let me take you inside it. The stadium was packed. A sea of sky blue and white pressed up against a wall of red, because Egypt had traveled in numbers, and Egypt believed. This was not the Egypt of 2018. This was a side ranked inside the top 30 in the world. Hungry, organized, and coached by a man who had spent 18 months studying exactly how to strangle Argentina's midfield. And for 55 minutes, that plan was working. Egypt led 1-0. Messi had been kicked, shoved, and dragged to the turf 6 times before the half-hour mark. The Argentine bench was already up, already screaming at the fourth official, already sensing that something was off about the officiating. And then came the moment. 62nd minute. Messi picks up the ball just outside the Egyptian box. He drifts left, drops the shoulder, and glides past 2 defenders, the way only he still can. A third defender lunges. Contact. Messi goes down inside the area. The stadium erupts. The Argentine bench erupts. Every single camera angle, and there were 34 of them in that stadium, shows a clear trip. Clear, unmistakable. The kind of penalty that gets given at under 14 level without a second thought. The referee waved play on. Read that again, because this is where the story turns. He did not go to the monitor. He did not consult VAR. He did not even pause. He waved play on and jogged toward the halfway line as if nothing had happened. And then, 40 seconds later, when Egypt broke down the other end and won a corner, he blew for a foul on the Egyptian striker inside Argentina's box that nobody, and I mean nobody, saw. Panic, madness now. On the surface, this looks like a referee having a bad night. It happens. Officials are human. But the second you look behind the curtain, the picture completely changes. Because this was not one decision. This was a pattern. And the pattern is what has FIFA's integrity unit reportedly reviewing footage frame by frame as we speak. Start with the numbers, because the numbers do not lie. Argentina were awarded 0 free kicks in the attacking third in the first half. 0. Egypt were awarded 9. Messi was fouled 11 times across the 90 minutes, and the referee produced exactly 1 yellow card for those fouls. 1. In Argentina's previous 5 competitive matches, Messi had been fouled a combined 28 times and referees had issued 14 cards. That is a factor of 10 or more if you compare the protection he received in this match against every other match he has played this cycle. A factor of 10 or more. Sit with that. Then there is the detail that really tells you how far gone this was. In the 71st minute, with Argentina still chasing the game, Rodrigo de Paul was booked for dissent after politely. And I am quoting the touchline microphone here, saying, "Please look at the screen." That was it. That was the offense. A player asking an official to use the technology that exists specifically to prevent moments like the one we had just witnessed. Booked. Yellow card. Move on. When a referee is booking players for asking him to do his job, the relationship between the officials and the game is already dead. And then there is the quote. After the match, in the mix zone, Lionel stood in front of the microphones, and he did not rage, he did not scream. He said, and I am quoting him directly, "I have been in football for 30 years. I have never seen a match officiated like that. I do not want to say more because I know what happens when you say more. But everyone watching has eyes. Everyone watching has eyes." That is not a manager complaining. That is a manager choosing his words the way a lawyer chooses them before a deposition. Because Scaloni knows exactly what saying too much costs. Ask any coach who has been fined into silence by FIFA over the last decade. Now zoom out. Because this is where the historical weight lands. In the entire history of the World Cup, only 3 matches involving a reigning champion have featured a referee who was subsequently removed from the tournament mid-competition. Italy in 2002, France in 2010, and now, potentially, this one. The referee who took charge of Argentina and Egypt has not been assigned another fixture. His name has quietly disappeared from the published list for the next round. FIFA has not commented. FIFA never comments. But the absence is the comment. 5-fold. That is the increase in formal complaints filed by federations about officiating in this tournament compared with 2022. 5-fold. In one cycle, something is breaking. And it is breaking in public. So what happens now? Argentina did what Argentina does. They dragged themselves back into the match. Julian Alvarez leveled it in the 78th minute with a header that Messi delivered on a plate. And then in the 3rd minute of stoppage time, from a set piece the referee somehow allowed, after initially waving it away, Nicolas Otamendi bundled home the winner. 2-1. Argentina survive. The champions live to fight another day. But the problem is what is coming. Argentina's next opponent is one of the sharpest sides in the tournament. And Messi is now carrying a knock to the same ankle that ended his season in 2024. The medical staff were spotted working on him for 40 minutes after the final whistle. He walked out of the stadium in a protective boot. Cameras caught it. Argentina's press office denied it within the hour. Both things cannot be true. Let me be fair for a second, because this channel does not deal in fantasy. It is entirely possible the referee simply had the worst night of his professional career. It happens. Officials crumble under pressure. They lose their bearings. They make one mistake and then overcorrect for the next 30 minutes trying to hide it. That is a human explanation, and it is a plausible one. And it is entirely possible that FIFA's silence is procedural, not damning. Reviews take time. Statements take longer. But that is exactly what makes it a nightmare instead of a footnote. Because when the reigning World Cup champions cannot get a clear penalty in front of 34 cameras, when their captain is fouled 11 times and receives the protection of a single yellow card, when their manager stands in front of the world's press and says everyone watching has eyes, the tournament has a problem that no press release can paper over. Brick after brick after brick. The uncalled penalty. The phantom foul at the other end. The booking for dissent. The 10-to-1 disparity in protection. The manager choosing his words like a hostage. The referee vanishing from the assignment list. Each one on its own is a story. Together, they are a wall. And when you have spent 90 minutes watching a champion fight the opposition and the officials at the same time, you do not get to pretend afterwards that the game was clean. Now I want to hear from you. Was this a genuine officiating collapse? An honest human failure on the biggest stage in sport? Or was there something else at work here? Something the numbers are quietly screaming that FIFA is refusing to say out loud. Drop your verdict in the comments, because the split on this one is going to be sharp and I want to see where the room lands. Subscribe if you have not already, because we are only a handful of matches into this World Cup and the controversies are already stacking faster than anyone can track. Trust me, this will not be the last one. There is a referee story brewing out of Group F that is going to make this one look mild, and we will be on it the moment it breaks. One game, one whistle, one decision the entire footballing world is still trying to explain, and by now, nobody's surprised. I'll see you in the next one.